All right, I believe we are all the way live. Hello and welcome to my graveyard. I am your host of the evening, the Cemetery Man from Salem, Mass. Always taking names at kicking candy ass, live in living color here with you on Grande's Graveyard. And tonight we are welcomed by a very special guest, one of my favorite people in the whole wide world, one of the most awesomest YouTubers on this side or any other side of the horror YouTube land. He is none other than the Horrorboy. What's going on, good brother Nate?
How's it going, guys? The horror boy here. I'm joking. How's it going, guys? Got the RVD going there, huh? Yeah.
I like that. That's pretty cool. Like you had the one of a kind intro. One of a kind.
Yeah, I'm actually. It's funny. I'm actually wearing a wrestling shirt right now.
Ooh, that's Nakamura.
Yep, Shinsuke.
The king of strong style. Absolutely love Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah, me too, man. Thanks so much for having me on. I really appreciate it, man. It's awesome being back on.
Dude, it's awesome to have you back on. And I just wanted a bunch of people in the chat saying hi. I can promote them right here. Aiden Vabber's in the Heezy. Neon Black Reviews is in the Heezy. Arthur Brenner's in the Heezy. Bunch of people's in the Heezy tonight, baby. That's probably because of my special guest.
No, it's the Grande, man. The Grande's Grave got the Grande show, man.
We had a lot of people in here last week when I did the Tales from the Dark Side episode. There was a lot of people watching with us, so that was a fun show to do. And
yeah, it was actually a really good episode, man. I really enjoyed that one.
Oh, dude, thank you so much. I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, it was a fun. We really had a really fun time. Me and my good buddy, the Elm Street Warrior. And yeah, this week I figured I got to have the Horrorboy on sometime in Rocktober, man. And I figured there was no better movie to discuss tonight and watch live along together for the first time ever. We've never watched this movie together.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Hellraiser Deader today, aren't we? This is the commentary on Hellraiser Deader.
Of course. We're talking about Hellraiser Revelations, Hellraiser
movie.
Hellworld. But in seriousness, we are watching Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth. Ooh, yeah. Part 3, man. And I know that, which is surprising to many probably, but I love this. I believe this is your favorite of the series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this has always been the one that I watched the most as growing up. I wasn't real young when I seen these movies, but I was like in middle school, high school when I found these movies. And this was always the one I used to watch the most. So, but I haven't seen it in years. It's been like probably 6 or 7 years since I seen it. So, because I don't know why, but I kind of fell off Hellraiser for a while. It's like Children of the Corn. Like, I don't know. There's a lot because like there's similar franchises, like past a certain point they start getting worse and worse. But I just haven't really rewatched the sequels. I mean, even the first movie, I don't know. It's a franchise that I kind of slept on for a minute there. But it's funny because like that we're doing this because this year has been like the year of Hellraiser. Like there's so many people like you doing this, a lot of people covering the franchise. So like, I don't know if it's just like the season, the year, like there's a lot of people covering Hellraiser right now,
Dude, for real. And it's funny. I watched part 6. And by the way, Ryan's here. What's going on, Ryan? How are you, good brother? I saw you were watching some movies this week. I was too. I watched a ton of stuff.
Hello, Ryan. Welcome.
I am the way. But yeah, I watched a bunch this week, and I watched Hellraiser, Hellseeker, and I watched Deader, which both of these fucking suck.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. I also watched some good movies. I watched Deep Red. I watched Shivers. I watched Gutter Balls, which is a really crazy slasher movie. I watched
Still haven't to see that one. I haven't seen as that Gutter Balls. Why does the poster look like the Happy Birthday to Me poster?
Yeah, they ripped off the Maniac poster, Happy Birthday to Me, and they also did their own one, which I love the actual poster they used. It's a pretty fun movie. It's basically a generic slasher movie in a bowling alley. It's pretty fucking hardcore though. It's not rated R. It's like NC-17, and man, it earns that rating. It's one of the most violent, gory, and it just used practical effects, so it's a pretty solid movie. It's low budget, but overall, I think pretty solid.
Is it as gory as this?
Actually, that's more gory, but I will say that the special effects in in Gutter Balls is fucking even better. It's the star of the movie. Like people that
Really?
love low budget 80s slasher wannabes, Gutter Balls is the movie for you. Like it came out right along that era of like Hatchet and Rise of Leslie Vernon, and for some reason it's the least talked about of all those. I'll take it
Yeah.
a million times over Hatchet. It's a way fucking better movie in my opinion.
I'll check it out sometime for sure. It sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's a good one for sure. It was sad the director passed away late last year. He had cancer. So I
That
wanted
sucks.
to watch in like honor of him this month. I want to watch something that Ryan Nicholson had made. So may he rest in peace. And I figured I was like, yo, gotta totally honor him this month for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, rest in peace to him, man.
Yeah. And what have you been up to? I know we talked a little bit before we started here, and I'm gonna make sure I pause this because it's finally up to the Clive Barker Presents. So I can still hear you, but what have you been up to, my friend?
It's been like really just ever since this whole thing's happened, just been a lot of just watching newer movies. Like you said, we really can't go anywhere and do a whole lot right now. So I've been going back and watching, classics that I haven't seen yet, going back and watching a lot of sci-fi stuff. Like this past year, I've been watching a lot of sci-fi, like RoboCop, Alien, and Predator. I went back and watched The Matrix and, a lot of comic book stuff too. And I just lately have been watching an insane amount of pro wrestling, like a lot of pro wrestling. Pay-per-views, shows, ECW. I've been going back and watching the old ECW and just being amazed by especially the old stuff, just going back and finding when Sabu debuted on ECW and seeing his first match and seeing the first ever episode of ECW, man. It's been great.
ECW is fantastic, and I know that you're doing your own little backyard wrestling promotion and character. I would love to tell us a little bit about that character, Nathan Max, man. The 3 P's, which I thought was great. When I heard that, I was like, no fucking way. I was like, that's genius.
Yep. And I got
my Nathan Max shirt, by the way. I don't know what I have to pay you, but I want one.
Oh, dude, definitely. If you go on our page, there's like links to that. And I think it's on our newest video. You can go and find the T-shirts and merch and stuff like that. But I really appreciate that, man. I appreciate all support you've given to the channel. I really, really do. It means a lot.
You've had some great matches, too. I watched a match with you. And
great. I'm not a very good wrestler, but, I try.
I think you had some good ones. That one that I think it wasn't Last Man Standing, but it was like a hardcore match. That was a lot of fun to watch. I was like, dude, man. And you kicked ass. I liked the opportunity arrives now. Man, Nathan Max, it's good stuff. It's much better than what's going on in WWE.
There's the official Panda Corn, 3 Ps, Nathan Max. Yeah, it's a little thing we did.
Max effort.
Max effort, man. Thank you. Yeah, I just it really didn't. We didn't plan on making Nathan Max really a character. I was just going to be like a kind of a referee / interviewer kind of dude. And one person called off for a match, and they were like, if we can't do this if we don't have another person. I was like, I'll step in, and I wrestled, and I was like, I guess I'll keep doing this, and then they were like, all right, we'll get you for this match, and basically went on from there. It's just a goofy little character that I like to play, and I don't know. It's fun, man. I didn't think it'd be like as fun as it ended up being, but yeah, it's just fun to get in there and tell stories and stuff, man. And I love pro wrestling, so it's just cool to do that.
Yeah, pro wrestling is such a fun outlet to expand yourself. And I wanted to ask you too, because I know they always say, like I remember Dusty Rhodes always says, the greatest wrestlers are the people who are themselves and they dial themselves up to 11. Do you think that's true? Do you have any bit of yourself in the Nathan Max character, and do you just dial yourself up, or do you think it's something completely different, like you're playing a character? Like, what do you think it is?
It's like a bit of half and half. Like I do approach it a lot like Dusty does. Like it is me just to a much more hyper, much more energetic, much more like motivational, inspirational version of myself. Very goofy, but I did that because everybody else in our company at the time was super serious. Look, they weren't joking. They all wore like dark clothes and their demeanor was really dark. And I was thinking like, okay, I gotta do something to stand out from the rest. So I was like, I'll wear like bright blue to the ring, and I'll take this and make it a headband. And I'll wear the ugly sunglasses, and I was doing all these things to be different, you know. But the big part was, yeah, just being yourself. Like, I don't think you should try to convert yourself too much to be something that you're not, rather than just going out there and giving them yourself, because that's like really sincere and it comes across, you know.
Yeah.
But I love playing the character. It's a lot of fun. Fortunately, I got put in this retirement match, but maybe one day I'll be back. You never know.
Hey, man, there's anything that's for sure, it's nothing's for sure. To quote the great Stinger.
It's not goodbye. It's just see you later.
Exactly. You left with them wanting more. See, I still want more. I want to see the Maximum Overdrive match where you drive in on the Green Goblin truck and AC/DC plays you to the ring. And
Yes.
I want to be there. I'm going to be there as your personal ring announcer.
I want to say, dude, I want to see the Grande man get in the ring, man. Do some Hurricane Ranas and shit, man. You can do it, man. Do some AAs, bro. AA.
Bro, I couldn't imagine.
Making people go to sleep, bro. Like, go to sleep GTS, you know?
Dude, maybe
Be
someday. Awesome. I'm a huge fan of pro wrestling too. And I remember when I started college, I wanted to get into being a manager. They had this place like right by where I went to school, and I really wanted to be a manager. And it takes a lot of time, dedication to become a wrestler. A manager is basically all speaking and all psychology, and that stuff I think I have down. It's just I never learned how to work wrestling in the ring. It's a lot harder than people think, but man, I fucking love it. I'm a big wrestler.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I did that, because it was just really fun. And, you know, I've just been watching a lot of it lately, man. Like, it's just crazy. And I've been going back and just researching. I wanted to really research for my matches and try to improve, because luckily I went back and I watched my debut. There's a big difference from that to my latest match. And I liked that. That was the goal. I was like, all right, I want to change and improve and bring new stuff into what I do. But the good thing you can do is just like go back and watch. Like, I was watching Triple H matches and guys who could really do that work and try to replicate what they did, and I missed that. I love new wrestling. I still like to watch it, but there's just something about that old style of just the down and dirty classic kind of mat based wrestling that I just miss, man. I so miss it. Like the Eddie Guerrero's, Triple H's, you know, all these guys like Kurt Angle and Shawn Michaels. I miss that kind of wrestling. I wish it would kind of resurface again, but it's a much more like snappy, fast-paced style nowadays, I've noticed.
Yeah, it's very spotty now. It's spot.
Yeah.
Whereas back in the day, it felt legitimate when it was technical, and I love the technical style too. Like watching Benoit and Chris and all those guys. I mean, I think Eddie Guerrero was a fucking phenom, and Kurt Angle was great to watch. And like, there's so many great wrestlers at that time. Even guys like who couldn't speak on the microphone, like Lance Storm was a good.
Yeah, Shelton Benjamin, that's a good.
Dean Malenko, Chris Jericho. I mean, so many good pro wrestlers. Yeah, that style, it never gets old. And that's what the great thing about ECW was. They had that. They had the hardcore. They had the heavyweights. They seemed to have the most of everything, and they had the characters and stuff. And I don't know, it was really, really good stuff. I miss that era too, man. I wish pro wrestling could get back to the way it used to be, because right now, man,
it's definitely in a different place than where it was before, as far as style and everything goes.
It's a damn shame. I mean, I hope it goes back.
Fortunately.
Yeah. I see you're eating some Taco Bell tonight. I know that one of the items was in honor of myself, which I thought was brilliant. Yes!
The Nachos Bel Grande for the Grande's Graveyard. Hellraiser 3, some nachos and cheese, and some Grande's Graveyard. That's the trio of awesomeness right there.
You can't beat it, man. You can't beat it at all. We got a couple comments. Neon Black Gutter Balls is probably the only bowling pin rape scene you'll ever see. Yeah, and it has one of the only. Yeah, that is like 20-minute long scene of these four guys like raping this woman. Holy shit, man! It's It's not for everybody. Gutter Balls is not for fucking everybody. Like there's some people that I know that watch horror. I would not even recommend Gutter Balls to. It's fucked up. But like, I don't know. I like Ryan Nichols, Ryan Nicholson. I just really looked up to him. Like he's a guy that just said, "Hey, I want to make fun, schlocky, special effects slasher movie throwbacks," and he did that for a living. And I think that's just so admirable, man. I'm just.
Do you know how many movies he made?
He didn't direct too many movies, but he was special effects supervisor for like so many movies. The first Final Destination he worked on. He worked on, I believe, man, he's worked on so many goddamn movies. It's crazy. I think over 130 something movies he did special effects for. So he was an absolute legend, man. May he rest in peace. He was great, and I'm a big fan of Gutter Balls. I liked Gutter Balls a lot. I've still never seen the second one. I don't even know if it's available.
There's a second one.
Yeah, there's Gutter Balls too. The whole it's like something called like All Balls Out or something. It's really crazy. Oh man, yeah, I miss Romero too. I've been meaning to watch. I kind of want to watch Season of the Witch. I don't know why, but I've been meaning. Like, it's not one of my favorite Romero films, but that one and Martin, I'm definitely going to try to watch this October. I rewatched almost all of the zombie films over the quarantine, so I'm kind of zombie Romero'd out, but. Maybe I'll throw in Bruiser too. I know you're a big fan of Bruiser, so that one I definitely want to throw in here this Rocktober viewing month. You know, I'm super stoked to watch that. But yeah, I've watched a ton of stuff. Watching Cronenberg, watching Romero, watching Argento, Shivers, Deep Red, Monkey Shines, all these movies I've watched. And then Gutter Balls was last night, and then tonight, me and the Natester with Hellraiser 3. So I'm super excited.
I have the special edition HD DVD 1-disc Echo Bridge version of this movie. It's playing now. It's special edition right there. It actually has a menu.
Do you have the actual physical DVD or?
No, it's the it was like a weird. I got it actually for free. I got like Hellraiser 3 through 8. I got for free because. Oh. It was in it was in this Prophecy. It was Prophecy and Hellraiser Echo Bridge DVD set, and it came with Hellraiser 3 through 8, and it came with Prophecy 1 through like 5, and and they couldn't find the DVDs of Prophecy, and they were like, "All right, well, since we can't give you the Prophecy movies, we'll just give you the Hellraiser movies, and you can have them for free." And I was like, "Yeah, I'll take them. Yeah, thank you." I didn't even want to watch Prophecy. I was like, "All right, let's watch Hellraiser, man."
Dude, that's crazy. And the funny thing is, Hellraiser 3 of all those movies is probably the only one worth the shit.
Yeah. Sadly.
Danae says hi. What's going on, Danae?
Hey, what's up, Danae? How you doing?
Danae's chilling like villain, doing awesome cosplays over on Insta, man. Her stuff's been amazing this week. I think she did Sidney Prescott yesterday. That was a really awesome one. Dude, crap. Yeah, I love Martin and Bruiser too. Yeah, I don't know. Aiden, have you ever seen Season of the Witch? Because that's one I'm definitely... Like, I'm not again, I said I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I definitely, for some reason, that's one I watch in October. Like, it's the most October Romero film next to shit like Creepshow, and I love Creepshow, of course. But yeah, I'm definitely. Oh man, dude!
Let me down.
Nate watched House on the Edge of the Park, man. That was he's eating his nachos singing that shit. Write me a letter soon. David has fucked the world, man. Yeah, man. That was a really, it's definitely an experience. That twist was so out of nowhere. I was like, okay, a twist. The twist is so stupid in that film.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, what you knew they were gonna do this the entire time? You let them rape someone?
If they knew, they would have had somebody hiding somewhere. They would have had a plan B. That's why the twist goes to hell. Like, that twist is so fucking lame.
Like, man. You let them torture you for an hour and a half, and you could have ended it in the first 10 minutes.
I guess so. I guess we wouldn't have had a movie that way. But man, that scene, man, with David Hess and Cindy, that's one of the scariest scenes of all time. It to this day scares the shit out of me, man.
She's a virgin. That's virgin territory. I was
Where's her boyfriend? Now that's a real asshole.
I'm gonna go and groove.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh my goodness.
He's in a yellow jacket. He looks like he's going to the NFL Hall of Fame or something. Oh my god.
Yeah, I
Never
was
seen
like,
season
look at
one.
him. He's over here dancing with the peace symbol. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yo, with Giovanni Lamberto Radici. Oh, nice. That sounds nice today. I know you have a crazy schedule like me. I'm glad to be chilling on a Friday night too. Just pop open the VHS, man. We're gonna be doing a nice commentary on this. And oh, my thing started playing. By the way, I'm gonna have to rewind it. But yeah, man,
It's like,
you
no,
want
we
to get
watch
into this? Or
now,
we should probably get
Grande.
into it.
We watch now, Grande.
We watch now
The
because
VHS. That Pinhead was like, it's my turn.
I love when the guy goes, Jesus Christ, and then Pinhead goes, not quite. All right, so let me rewind this, and then we can start this shit, but it already started. Give me 1 sec.
All right. And then the nachos Bel Grande. Nachos.
Grande's Graveyard is brought to you by. Dude, this VHS player is so old, there's no remote for it. I literally have to stand up and fucking hit rewind.
That's how mine is too, yeah. Hey, remember that scene in Wayne's World? It's like, hey, watch. It's like people just do things so they get paid for it. And that's just really sad.
I love they do that in The Cat in the Hat too, where he's like, "Oh man, this is like a crazy ride from Universal Studios." Cha-ching! Mike Myers is great, man. See, that's a guy that I feel like it's crazy he like gave up. Like I feel like he just basically just retired. It's so weird. Like I think he was fantastic, man. And you see guys like Kevin Smith, and he's just turning out some shitty fucking movies, man. Same with Adam Sandler.
What about Adam Sandler? What's your thoughts on him?
I think I liked Uncut Gems. I thought that was good, but like I don't know, man. The shit with Jennifer Aniston, like that fucking murder, it was like Mystery Date or something. It looked fucking stupid to me. And then Hubie Halloween, everybody's talking about that. Like shit, man. There's some better shit you can watch. Like I don't need to see that to tell you. There's some better fucking movies you could be watching.
There's a lot better things you can do with your time.
There's a lot better things you can do with your time. I agree with that. Just remember I have a DVD rip of Hellraiser 3, so I'll watch it with you. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, we're going to start with the Clive Barker Presents. I'm going to hit my play when that happens. I'm almost there. This is so old school. This is fucking hilarious. I really liked Uncut Gems too. I thought his performance was really good. The Safdie brothers are really, really good filmmakers. So I enjoyed that movie. I think that's more of what Adam Sandler should do. Like, I think it's funny. Like he's been doing that same comedy for like 20 years. It gets a little tedious at times. I still think he's good and I like the guy. I think he's a great person. But I don't know, man. His shtick can be a little bit old. Not as bad as Kevin Smith though. Kevin Smith. The 90s Kevin Smith would make fun of this Kevin Smith. That's how bad fucking Kevin Smith is now.
I am from Holland. Isn't that weird?
We got the Midas touch. You're touching too much. He's gold member. He's gold member. Golden pad. He's super bad. Dude, I love that fucking movie. What was the last good Kevin Smith movie I watched? Well, that's a fucking trivia question. Didn't mind Red State. I would say it all went to hell after that. Okay, we're almost there. I'm gonna get ready to hit play.
Sorry, mate. I like gold.
All right, Nate, brother, I just hit play.
All right, me too. Clive Barker Presents. Didn't he have anything to do with this movie?
He did, yeah. He was promoting Candyman at the time, and they were like, "Do you want to put your name as a producer and presenter of this next Hellraiser movie?" He's like, "Sure." I don't think he had anything to do with the story, but he said, "I'll produce it and I'll endorse it." So I don't think he helped them out or anything, but it's nice that he put his name on it.
Yeah.
Anthony Hickok's film from Waxwork fame.
Mm-hmm.
And I was reading today that it was crazy to bring him in. I was telling you a little bit about this before we started the show, but they didn't initially want him, especially Doug Bradley didn't want anything to do with Anthony Hickox because Anthony Hickox had made Waxwork and Waxwork 2, and he wasn't a fan of the style and the humor in those films. So he felt that if he came and directed this would be a cheesy Hellraiser movie, a goofy Hellraiser movie. And they actually had a meeting, and Doug Bradley had to approve of him as the director. Like, that's how crazy, Doug Bradley actually had some say in this shit, and I think that's pretty cool. Like,
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I like Anthony Hickox. I think he made some good films. He also made one of the Warlock sequels I like. So I fuck with Anthony Hickox.
I love Warlock. That's another one that I think is so criminally underrated, man.
Dude, yeah, Warlock's really good. Julian Sands is fantastic in that fucking movie. CD head. Honestly, the first time I saw this movie, I thought that was terrifying. And like every time I watch it since, it's like it is pretty cheesy. And the guy that's like, ready for your close up, and you got the camera eye. Like the Cenobites in this one are fucking hilarious. But
yeah,
I love it. Like I love it, man.
Yeah, definitely. I also kind of realized, is it like they based the Cenobites off of their sins? Like, is that what? Because like if you notice, the hydraulic headed Cenobite, that's the guy who's always obsessed with like sex and stuff, and then the girl, she smokes and she has the cigarette. And then the CD guy, maybe, I don't know, what would that be like? He listens to music.
He's got bad taste. He has shitty taste in music. Yo, honestly, never fucking realized that. If that's true, that's actually pretty fucking brilliant. I never, ever realized that. I will keep an eye out. Well, I'll keep all 4 eyes out for it this time around.
Then maybe Chatterer. That could be he talked too much, and now he just, chatters too much.
Yeah. They're not any of the classic ones other than Pinhead. The Chatterer's not in this.
Mm-mm.
Female Cenobite's not in this, and Butterball's not in this. So,
which is weird.
Well, I think they technically like killed off in part 2. I guess that's why they're not in it.
Yeah, because this one that's the thing. Like this Pinhead, he's actually technically he's more evil than any other Pinhead in the series.
Yeah,
this is the all evil Pinhead right here. He's playing around. He ain't playing no games.
Yeah, because this is Pinhead without Elliot Spencer, really, and Elliot Spencer's wanting to kill Pinhead, which I thought was brilliant to do with this. And I know that we will get into this and our thoughts on this, but this was really the studio's, main attempt to make this a franchise. Like at the time, Jason was literally going to hell, Freddy was literally dead, and Michael was in limbo. So I think Miramax got the rights to Pinhead and said, hey, man, why don't we try to make Pinhead a slasher icon like those 3? And it's a big turnoff to a lot of people that they tried to make Pinhead mainstream. And, man, I'll say right off the bat, I'm glad they tried it. I'm glad that they wanted to go this direction. I feel like
too.
In a similar vein to Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors, they made that movie silly. They made Freddy an icon with the one-liners in that movie, and that movie seems to be universally loved. So I don't know. I don't get what the disconnect is with this one. Like I know a lot of people fucking just hate this movie, but man, to me, it's the last sequel worth the shit in the entire series.
Yeah, I completely agree. And plus, to me, I love the first 2 Hellraiser movies, but the one small complaint I always had was there was not enough Pinhead. Like, I wish there was more Pinhead because he was such a cool character. But in this movie, that's what always gravitated me towards is you actually see Pinhead more. You hear more one-liners. He's much more of an entertainment factor. And that's why I've always liked this one. Just watch this one more than the first 2. But the first 2 I think are better movies, but this one I think is better in the fact that they seen that Pinhead could be the lead and the star of the movie, and they did it, and I appreciate that. And I actually like that because it got to a point to where in Hellraiser where Pinhead was barely in these movies, and somehow they were still Hellraiser movies. Like they were literally taking scripts and just putting Pinhead in them. That's all they would do.
Pinhead in the last 5 minutes, and they were like, oh, plot twist, it's a Hellraiser film. And I'm just like, but we knew that coming in that it was a Hellraiser film. We called it Hellraiser Hellseeker. And there ain't got no goddamn Pinhead to the last 10 minutes. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. There he is.
Yeah,
and then one of them is not even really Pinhead. It's like illusion of like a not. It's like a hallucination of Pinhead. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's like they thought they were gonna pull the wool over our eyes or something, and it just I don't know. It's kind of lame, but yeah, you're
Yeah,
right. This is the one where Pinhead is front and center, and this is really his show. Even more so than Bloodline. I mean, Bloodline is just it's almost like three different movies in one. Where I think it's a mess, but it's three different movies in one. Whereas this is just one really fun hell ride with Pinhead himself. And I like the lead actress as I see her right here, Terry Farrell. She's a really good
yeah,
looking woman. I think she was a model too, man. Terry Farrell is beautiful.
yeah. She's very beautiful, and she also like has some badass moments. You know, go to hell and stabs Pinhead. Like that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Do you think? I know that Ashley Lawrence has a brief cameo in this, but do you think that maybe she should have been the one to return for this movie, or do you think that they made the right choice in going with Terry Farrell just to his new direction for the series? So obviously they wanted to go new Final Girl. Like, what do you think about that?
Um, to be honest, I wish it was the new lead actress for most of the movie, and then hold on, let me turn this down a little bit. It's a little loud, but uh,
Well, that might be mine.
don't want to
I
get you
lowered
a
mine too.
copyright strike by YouTube. You know,
Could you
uh,
imagine? I'd be so pissed.
this stream I can take it down.
That'd
No,
be my luck.
YouTube, man. Yeah, I wish that she was the lead actress, but then somewhere in the movie she could have helped. She could have gotten helped by Kristen, sorry. And is it Kirsten?
Kirsty.
Kirsty. I wish that she would have came back in this movie. That would have been more of like a two leads, because they make it like this other chick's gonna be a lead too, but she ends up just getting killed off. So it's like it's kind of useless what happens to her. But
That's
I don't
true.
know. I thought the new actress did a good job. I thought she was pretty good.
Yeah, I think it would have been cool to have Kirsty maybe at the end. Like maybe you had this girl the entire movie, and then Kirsty comes at the end and is like, "Listen, I'm gonna help you," and then maybe Kirsty dies, and then you can hand the torch to this new final girl. Like you could, I think if you're going a new direction, I don't mind going with a new final girl. But I do think Ashley Lawrence is fantastic, and I really wouldn't have minded to see her return. But I do like Terry Farrell. I think she does a really, really good job in this movie.
Yeah, me too. We just seen a head explosion
Yeah, which was
in the
fucking
first
crazy.
5 minutes. That should be enough.
Now I'm on a bus with a bearded man. What's our thoughts on the Midnight Meat Train? I love the Midnight Meat Train until the ending. I really, really love that movie. I think the CG is a little bit bad in it, but if it wasn't for the ending, I think it would be fucking classic Clive Barker movie. But I guess at the same time, too, that twist is so Clive Barker. Like, I should have seen it coming. I almost wish it was something else. Like, just if it wasn't those creatures, maybe something else, like a Cabin in the Woods. We have to sacrifice for the gods or something like that. I would have liked that more than just creatures, but I don't know. It wasn't the worst thing in the world. It's definitely there's been worse.
Midnight Meat Train, isn't that the one about the killer guy? Like the guy who's killing people, and he has like the meat tenderizer or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, and Bradley Cooper's the star.
Yeah, I actually really enjoyed that movie too.
Yeah, me too. I like
That
like
movie
Midnight
gets
Meat Train.
hated. That movie gets hated. I think it's good.
Yeah, I do too. I like most of Clive Barker's stuff. Like, I even like the ones he doesn't like. I don't mind Rawhead Rex. I like Candyman. I mean, there's a bunch of his movies I really like. Terry Farrell was Jadzia Dax on Star Trek Deep
Yeah,
Space
she was. I recognize her. She was on Star Trek.
I know she does a lot of conventions, or at least she did before COVID. I would love to meet her. She still looks pretty good. At this time, man, she was a really gorgeous woman. Like it's totally see why they casted her. I know a lot of people have said she's not that good of an actress. I fucking disagree, man. I think she does a good job.
Yeah, me too. She
But she pretty
seemed.
much has to carry most of this movie. With it's her and Doug Bradley front and center, and I think she does a good job in carrying it personally.
I like how she's not just a typical, damsel in distress. She's a rough and tough lead, and I like that.
Yeah.
I also love the boiler room. Like I just always thought that as a kid, I was like, that's a cool idea of having this kind of hellish themed bar, like club, in the punk gritty atmosphere. Like, okay, I like that.
Yeah, and I like they showed that sign and the fire behind it, like the boiler room. And I think that's awesome, and it was the perfect thing for this movie, a Hellraiser movie. The bar has to be the boiler room. Like I thought, and maybe in a lot of ways that name is a nod to Freddy. Like maybe it is. Like maybe that's because this is basically what their attempt to make him Freddy.
Yeah,
So I mean, in that way, it's pretty interesting for sure. I love the setting of this, and I think it's cool that the rich, pompous rich kid owns it, and he's the one that ultimately ends up giving Pinhead his restart again. I think that's always a really cool aspect of this film. What's our favorite Clive Barker film? I'm gonna go Nightbreed. Nightbreed's my favorite. How about you?
like directed or like just what he produced.
I guess directed. I mean, I guess Clive Barker film would be something he direct. I think. I don't know. Do adaptations count? I definitely would. If for a film he directed, I would say Nightbreed. For a film based on his work that he didn't direct, I really like Books of Blood, or Book of Blood, I should say, which by John Harrison. And I always really like Dread. I think that's a really good Clive Barker adaptation. There's a bunch of good Clive Barker adaptation. Candyman.
Yeah.
I don't
Uh,
know.
I haven't seen Nightbreed or really any other Clive Barker movies besides Hellraiser, so it'll be naturally just Hellraiser right now. But I'm always open to see more Clive Barker films.
No doubt.
And this guy is also a cool like human villain. I thought he was a good villain because like he's asshole.
Yeah. And I love these like war flashbacks. Like I remember when I first saw this, I was like, "What the fuck is this? Like, why is this in a
Yeah,
Hellraiser movie?"
this is from another movie. This
I think
Platoon.
Anthony Hickox is one of the army men at one point. I read that today that he has a brief cameo as one of these army men. I don't know. I don't really know which one. Yeah, but the JP character is such a good fucking heel. That's the I thing with I think the first three Hellraiser movies that people kind of sleep on is the human villains. Like Julia, I think of the first two movies, she's the main villain. She really is.
Hmm.
I mean, she kills all those people in part one, and then part two, she pretty much plays the Frank character. She just switches places with Frank, and she seduces that doctor and turns heel on him. And Pinhead is at the end of both of those movies is just a badass that kind of resolves the problems. Whereas, this one has the JP character. He's kind of the heel villain, but Pinhead's really the main antagonist. But I like
Hmm.
the human villains in this series, especially the first three.
Yeah, and the what was the doctor's name in the second one? I think he was like he like loved the Julia character.
I don't know his name, but yeah, that character was awesome too because he was just like he fed that guy who was with all the fucking. He thought he was like had bugs on him and like fed him to the fucking. Like that scared the shit out of me, dude.
Yeah,
Like, oh my god. I really liked this girl too.
it just sucks. I kind of wish she was more of a lead because she had so much potential, and then they just kind of like nope, killed her off. I was like, oh,
Yeah. I watched an interview with her today. The actress's name is Paula Marshall. She also went on to be in, I believe, the Cheaper by the Dozen remake. She plays like one of the neighbors in it, and she's cool. She's another really good looking woman. Um, I really liked her performance in this. She kind of plays like the troubled friend, I guess, the kind of is destined to tragic, destined for tragedy, if you will. But man, I liked her performance in this. I thought they had a good chemistry. It was a good way to kind of introduce us to the characters, which they don't really bother to do in any other movies, and maybe part five. But I liked it. I like this little dynamic. I thought they did good
yeah.
together, and they worked well together for sure.
Mm-hmm.
She also Paula Marshall has a fat ass. I'll say that.
With all due respect.
with all with all due respect, but whoever dressed her in that,
Thank you.
thank you very much.
You get the grande seal approval.
You do, you do. You could put my quote on the goddamn VHS cover and be like, Paul Marshall's ass is fat. John Grundy. And this movie is awesome. That like ... and this, I love this movie.
Are there any other like big names that and like love this movie? Did even Doug Bradley like this movie?
That's a good question. I don't know. I would love to know what Doug Bradley would rank them. Like, because they're all really fucking after this one, man. I don't know how you could really rank any of the ones after this above this, but there's some people that do. There's some people that think the fifth one is great. Like some people love Hellraiser Inferno. I'm not one of those people, but I don't know, man. I think the first three forever, and then after that, man, it's just basically fucking crapshoot.
Yeah, I just think it got to a point to where they were literally looking at scripts and they were going, we got to make money. How can we put Hellraiser in this?
Why do you think that this movie didn't succeed? Like, why do you think that people went to the theaters and just said, you know what? No, like we're not. Do you think it was past its prime of trying to do a movie like this? It's the early 90s, not the mid 80s. Or do you think that this just didn't work with Hellraiser? I know it worked for us, but why don't you think it worked for the mainstream?
I think I can agree to that. I mean, first of all, that's the fakest looking backdrop I've ever seen for a city.
Yeah.
That is on a set, my friend.
It's so bad.
It's so whoever did that, man, you tried, but you didn't try hard enough. But I think it was just the 90s, man. That was such a bad time for movies, like horror movies. Even the bigger ones back in the early 90s, I'm not huge on. Like that's really a time for me that I go back and I think it ages so poorly to me. But I don't know. I think it was just at this time, the 80s hangover of just getting all of these slashers. It was always about horror. And then when the 90s came along, this is kind of the hangover point for horror. People are like, all right, we've seen you're gonna make more Hellraiser. Like, we don't want to see more Hellraiser sequels. And I don't know. I think also because it wasn't like the first two. It was much more of a slasher-esque type movie about the body count, about the kills. And I'm pretty sure people didn't like that. So, unfortunately, it just got a bad rap. I don't know why it did at least as bad as it did, because you compare it to other movies in the series. I think it's far better than certain other sequels. And that's my favorite too. So like I've always watched it the most. I always thought it was the most brutal. So this is the one that I go, ooh, like an ice forms into the shape of Pinhead. Like, how do they do these special effects? Like for the time, like an ice forms into a sickle and goes right into someone's head. And I was just like, okay, I like that.
Dude, that's an awesome scene. That whole like club scene where he just kind of fucking murders all his people. That's like one of the best scenes in this whole franchise, I think. And yeah, it's funny, like what you were saying. Maybe it was a hangover. Maybe even I always hear people say, oh well, they don't wait long enough in between sequels, right? Like all the Saw movies get that rap, and the Friday the 13th movies. No, they didn't wait. They did one the next year. This movie took 4 years in between after part 2. So maybe it was just too long of a layoff. Maybe people were
I think that too.
Like I feel like if they made Saw 4 years after Saw 3, I don't know. Would Saw have continued? I don't really know. You kind of have to strike the iron when it's hot, especially with horror. So maybe that's what happened.
Yeah, I think that's what maybe it could have been too. Yeah, is like the fact that you continue the story years later. It's hard for people to pick back up where you left off,
Mm-hmm.
And also because you're not getting the girl from the first two movies, you're not getting certain people like Clive Barker directing the movie again. I don't think he directed the second one though.
No, he didn't. Tony Randall.
Yeah, but that feels like a Clive Barker movie. Like he captured Clive Barker, like to the point to where I thought it was literally him directing that movie, and I found out it wasn't. And I was like, "What?" Okay,
it's exactly in the same tone, feel. It feels like it was shot back to back. Like it doesn't feel like any time was taken off in between those two movies. I think
Mhm.
that's why those two movies work as a double feature really well. Whereas this one, I kind of just watch this one if I just watch this one. You know what I mean? Like 1 and 2, I could watch back to back. I would never really watch 2 and 3 back to back.
Yeah. But oh god, that backdrop. But yeah, man, I also love how the first movie is sort of the introduction movie, so we get to know the box and the demons. And the second movie, you're going into the box and going into hell. And it's like, all right, so what do we do after that? Well, we'll bring hell to Earth, and we'll do it on Earth. Like he's coming back here, and all the set design, and I can imagine this being a pretty big budget, because like you're doing street design, you're on streets, and they do a church, a construction yard, a club. Like I'm just surprised about. That's like the one thing I do kind of wish is like if it was hell on Earth, I do kind of wish there was a little bit more destruction on Earth, but the time it was made and the budget probably wasn't tremendously big. I don't know how big the budget was, but time constraints, stuff like that, I'm pretty sure they did the best they could, you know.
Yeah. And I think they did a hell of a job. I think Anthony Hickox was a capable choice. I think that even though that there is more laughs in this film as opposed to the previous two, I don't think it takes away from this movie being scary. Like I think like we'll get to some scary scenes. I mean, we're pretty much in the the introduction of this movie right now. But when shit starts hitting the fan, it's crazy. When that like hooker girl gets stripped, I remember when I first saw that, I was fucking horrified. I was like, I remember I first watched this. It was on AMC really late one night, like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was a little kid, and I had it on, and I was like falling asleep in one of those, and that scene happened, and my eyes just burst open, my shattered open. I was like, holy shit! And then JP's like like freaking out. I was in that boat with JP, man. I was freaking out too, and I thought that was really, really effectively fucking scary scene, and still is to this day. I think this is a scary fucking film. I think it doesn't get the credit it deserves. It's kind of
It's
remembered as
brutal.
yeah.
It's
It
hardcore.
really it doesn't hold back at all.
It's dark. It's grim. It's I guess you could say it's gritty. Has that early '90s grunge punk rundown type feel. Just a really down and dirty Hellraiser movie. That's why I love it, because it's like it's still Hellraiser. Like to me, this is the fourth one of the last Hellraiser movies. Everything else is kind of like a bad TV thriller psychological movie, like just rip-offs of Jacob's Ladder or rip-offs of literally scripts that were just laying around, or just like, oh, we've got to get the rights again to Hellraiser. Let's make this Revelations movie. No.
Oh, Hellraiser Revelation is a piece of shit, man. A lot of people had a problem with Hellraiser 3 because the Cenobites break the rules that were set in the first two films. Yeah, I suppose, but like I thought the brilliance of this was at the same time at the end of Hellraiser 2, all those Cenobites were dead, right? So I guess the filmmaker was like, where do we go from here? I'm going to have to go with that brief cliffhanger ending from Hellraiser 2. And I think he did a really good job with that. Like, I don't know if I would have been as creative to do what they did here, like the Pinhead in the nightclub and talking down to these people and shit. Like, I thought it was really, really smart. I love this saying about, oh, my man JP's got a rose. He's picked out his whore for the night. She's like, me?
He trying to smash.
Yeah. He's like, welcome. See, bad acting, this girl. That's bad acting.
Thank you for the rose. Thank you for the rose. Now we get Rooney
yourself down.
Hey, we get Rooney Mara in there. Thank you for the rose. Really appreciate it.
Get him, Quentin. Rooney Mara fucking sucks. I don't understand how she's been nominated for Oscars. Like that is like people have so many problems in the world of how the world goes, and oh my goodness, we got some
grinding.
love. We got some love going on. I have to close the
Relax.
windows.
Take your time. He grinding.
Pinhead's like, yeah.
Good view.
Yeah, for real. I probably should have closed the blinds.
Is this part of what awakens him?
No, I think the blood awakens him. Like there's a little that rat bites his hand, and then that blood awakens him, and then he kills her, and that really helps him like replenish himself, I guess. In similar vein to the first film, where Larry cuts his arm, and then it goes to Frank's heart, and that's what revamps his body.
This is a very graphic sex scene.
Yeah, I was reading that the girl wasn't comfortable with nudity, so they compromised with they were just told the JP actor, they were just going to grab her fucking titties and just make sure that you don't see anything. And she was like, all right, I'll agree to that.
What the fuck? I like how she was like, I think you love me. Get your stuff and get the fuck out. I was like, oh shit. All right. So did they just reuse this poster for Hellraiser 1 and just put a city back up?
The initial poster that they were going to use was the one of him screaming, like when he's in the statue where he's just screaming. And the people that made the film, they felt, or the studio, somebody said, this is too like graphic looking. Let's just literally copy and paste the same exact image and put the city in the background. So this is the same exact image on the original poster, but they just put the city skylights in the back and shit, which I think is pretty funny.
That's funny.
They were just like, screw it. Let's use the same thing.
Put them side by side.
Hey, man. Whatever it takes, right?
I always wondered too, like what happened to hell in the first two movies? It just kind of is it still there? Is there no more Cenobites in there? Are they all dead, or is there more waiting in hell? Always wonder that.
I don't know. I feel like it's weird they never revisited it. Like they never went back there. Like you would think somebody would have been like, you know what, let's fucking do that again, you know, and they never did. Mm-hmm. Ooh, this bitch is going down. Oh. Oh my goodness.
I'm about to get to the car machine myself. John's getting all the money shots.
See, that's a fucking horrifying scene.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh. He just de-skinned her in like 3 seconds.
Yeah. A clean, like how a magician rips the cloth off the table.
Not quite. So was this the last theatrical Hellraiser movie?
No, part 4 was. Part 4 is the last theatrical Hellraiser movie. And
that was a theatrical movie?
Yeah.
It looks cheap.
It's It's crazy, man. I don't know. I don't understand why. I think this movie flopping made them go that direction. I think they were like, we have to try to fucking do something different, and I think they just tried to do too much. Like three different fucking timelines, and it ends in space, and fucking oh my god, that movie is such a mess. And then the fifth one is basically just like a bad Jacob's Ladder remake. And so is the sixth one, where they somehow just decided to destroy Ashley Lawrence's character, and then after that, man, it's just for the birds.
They ripped off their previous movie.
Yeah.
They were like, "What do
Oh,
we do for this
Pinhead
one?"
spitting out the bullets. It's classic. He's like, what you did, man? That was fucking evil. I like that shot of Pinhead and the thing and then the roses right in front of him. It's like the symbol of death and then the symbol of life right next to each other.
You know, I thought it'd always be a cool battle.
What?
Pinhead versus Tall Man.
Ooh. I always thought Pinhead and Candyman would be really cool.
Yeah, that too, man.
Because they're both so calm, cool, and collected. Like I would love to know who would win that fight. You know, I always wanted to see that the fan pitch ending of Freddy versus Jason with Pinhead at the end being like, "Gentlemen, what seems to be the problem?" I think that would have been fucking amazing. But I don't know. I guess they just chickened out.
You imagine if they remade Freddy versus Jason?
I mean, I would be all for it, to be honest. I think they would just have to they'd have to cast Kane Hodder as Jason and Robert Englund as Freddy. Like you can't. I feel like Ken Kersinger was the wrong choice.
Yeah, I agree.
And no disrespect to the guy, I just think like Kane Hodder had championed that role for close to 12 years, and then Ronnie Yu was just like, "Oh well, I want somebody taller," and this is like, "What are you doing, my guy? Like, just stick with those two." Like England
It's like
versus
you're
Hodder,
going
we
for
all wanted to see
Frankenstein, but I
that.
was like, why are you going for Frankenstein, man? It's Jason.
Yeah, they just tried to do too much with that too. Like they tried to make it like a WWE match, and it was okay, but it could have been way better. Like it's one of those. It was good, but how could it have been? You know.
Right. I also want to point out that there's a lot of like Dario Argento type lighting in this movie. Like a
Yeah.
lot, like really vibrant colors.
Vibrant blues, reds. It's funny on this VHS they don't pop like they would on a Blu-ray. That's what's so weird watching this on a VHS. Like all the colors are really like kind of gross and globbed in there. But I don't know. I fucking love it.
Yeah.
Here's their Ashley Lawrence cameo.
See, the thing is, I kind of wish they would, if they were able to get her back, they should have just had her come back and be a part of the cast.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they decided to kibosh her, but have her be in a cameo. I don't know if she didn't like the script or because knowing her, if she came back for Hellseeker, why the fuck wouldn't she come back for this? Like that doesn't make any sense. And I know she did a movie in 1992 which I really like. It's called Mikey. It's like a killer kid film. And believe it or not, just got a Blu-ray release like a month ago.
Yeah, I heard about that movie.
She plays the kid's teacher in it, and she's like featured in that. She's one of the main actresses in that. So I don't know. Maybe she was filming that, and they asked her to do this, and she was like, "Oh, it's scheduling conflicts, but I'll come in and shoot a cameo." I really don't know. I would, if I ever met her, I would love to ask because she seems really cool too. I'd love to meet her and Doug Bradley. I think they're really cool people. They seem really cool, and I think Doug Bradley's got to be the last guy at conventions who doesn't charge for photo. I don't think he charges.
See, I got respect for that, man.
Me too. Especially when Robert Englund is charging like $365 for a photo op with him with the Freddy makeup on. Like, you can kiss my hairy ass.
Didn't you say Linda Blair could get a picture with her, like of her and her dog or something like that?
She has 8x10s of her dog. And she's like, "Do you want me to sign this?" I'm like, "Bitch, no. I want you to sign the fucking Reagan 8x10." No, let me give you a picture of me and my fucking Shih Tzu. Because my name is fucking Linda Blair. I'm like, bitch, you're not even that good. Like, oh god, I don't know. I'm
Yeah, when
glad
I
I'm
heard
not a
that, I
big
was like,
fan of her.
"What? Not even like signed posters or copies of like pictures from the set of Exorcist or any of
Oh,
that?" Like,
I think she'll sign your stuff, but like usually when you go to meet those people, like if you go meet Kane Hodder or Steve Dash or like anybody who ever played Jason, they have all the pictures of them as Jason in the movie on the table, and plus other movies that they did. Her, no, like her, it's all shit with her and her dog. She'll sign your shit, but like you have to provide it, is what I mean. Like Felicia Rose, she was great. She had all the Angela stuff. She had, pictures of her in like slutty horror outfits and stuff. But
who was your
fucking,
favorite person you met at a convention so far?
ooh. Romero, it probably has to be Romero. Yeah, Romero. That was fucking surreal to me, man. When he like it was crazy. I waited online all that time, and then when I got to the front, and like I knew in my head, I was like, I'm about to meet George Romero. Like you're about to meet the person who just made your favorite movie, and so many movies I've grown to love. And he shook my hand, and he was like, "Oh man, pleasure to meet you." And I was like, "Dude, pleasure to meet you. All your movies are fantastic." And he was like, "What can I do for you?" I was like, "You saw my favorite movie of all time." And I handed him my Blu-ray of Dawn of the Dead. He was like, "Absolutely." And I was just asking him how his trip was, and meeting all the fans, and he just put everybody over. He said the trip was nice, short and sweet, and the fans were great. And he said, "I'm a little tired though." He says, I'm gonna head off to bed soon." And I was like, "Dude, I just met George fucking Romero. I took a great picture with him. That was one of the best moments of my life, man. George Romero is the man.
He's a legend, my guy. He's a
He is.
legend.
He really is. It was really surreal meeting him. I'm glad I got to meet him before he passed because that guy was like one of my idols. So that was really really cool moment for me. And he like couldn't have been more gracious. I've heard some horror stories about certain individuals at conventions that weren't nice. And I don't want to say names. We don't have to go into that, but the fact that Romero was the opposite, that he was one of the great guys and really treated me with respect and care. That will never be lost on me, man. He will always be, at the top of my favorite directors list for sure.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite directors of all time.
Yeah, he's fantastic, man. Yeah, if things ever go back to normal, bro, we should meet up at a convention. I definitely have the money now. I don't know if I have the time as much, but hey, man, we could take a weekend for sure. I
Dude,
know,
yeah,
I know. We're not both. Neither one of us are too far from some of the other ones on our coast.
I
So
can get over to New York in like, let's say like 5 hours, 4 or 5 hours, 6 hours.
well, the only brutal thing is there really isn't many in New York. They're mostly in Jersey and Philly, Maryland. So we'd have to go there, but it's definitely doable.
Yeah, yeah, man, I'd love to. I've always had this like cool thing, this cool idea that have like me, you, Steve, Gideon, Andre, Chris, like all of us could meet up at a convention and just like meet all these horror legends. It'd be so cool.
Hey man, I'm down. Anything to get back to normalcy and the way things were, I will do at this point because it's sad. Like it really is a bummer that we can't really go out and do anything anymore, and you know it just sucks. I hope things go back to normal sooner rather than later, but I think we're in this for the long haul.
Yeah, me too. Unfortunately,
I love if she has the box right by the answering machine. Like,
she's getting ready to open, I think. But
Cleo
even if she
messages
opened
on
it,
the
like it,
box.
if even if she opened the box, it really wouldn't do anything, would it?
No, I guess not. Because
Because
Julia's
Pinhead wasn't
gone.
in there.
The other guy's gone. All the Cenobites are gone. I feel like maybe this would have been the only time to access the actual pleasure side of the box, which no one is ever able to reach.
That's for the Hellraiser Triple X parody version. Welcome to the pleasure side of the box. Oh, this is very different.
Pinhead in the parody. I thought this was brilliant that like they tried to do this like the original where Julie was bringing in people and seducing them and getting them to sacrifice them, and they kind of flipped this. Like you feel like she's gonna get sacrificed, and he ends up like I thought this was really smart.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
When I first watched it, I was like, oh, this poor bitch, she's gonna. But it ends up like Doug Bradley almost talks her back into the room, which I thought that's the brilliance of Pinhead. That's why I love Pinhead. This bitch, all she has to do is walk out the door and this movie's over, and he talks her back into it, man. That's Doug Bradley at his finest.
Yeah. I also forgot how short this movie is. Like once Pinhead gets out of the statue, he only other big points is he crashes the party. The girl meets the other half of Doug Bradley's character, and she gets told to stop the Pinhead character, and then she goes back, and then it's like hell on earth. It's like a really short movie.
Very straight. It is. Was it run 93 minutes, right? Yeah, my VHS doesn't say. Maybe it says on the tape. Yeah, 93 minutes. Hope all of a sudden this becomes a war film.
I know. Did Platoon get put in?
Full Metal Jacket with Pinhead as the drill instructor.
Gomer Pyle, welcome to hell.
I would assume this is the Hellraiser with the biggest body count.
Yeah.
Especially if you count all those war scenes. Elliot Spencer.
Part of me wonders if this had the biggest budget of the first three.
That's a good question. I don't know.
Maybe Hellraiser 2 had the biggest budget.
I could look it up. I'll check it out. I would assume so, but I don't know.
Ends up having the least budget of them all three.
That would be shocking. 12.5 million it made at the box office. Budget of 5 million. And then let's see. Second film had a budget of 3 million.
How much did it make?
They both made 12 million, both 2 and 3. And the first one had a budget of 1 million and made like close to 15. So the first one is still the most profitable. It's funny, none of them even made 20 million. Isn't that crazy?
I know they were. I don't think it was really a big giant hit for Hellraiser.
Yeah, which is pretty interesting to think about.
Here's one that I was curious about. Is there any good Children of the Corn sequels to you?
Wow.
I think 3.
The third one's probably the best.
3 is probably my favorite of the sequels, but even that's like not saying much.
Fields of Terror, that's the third one, right?
Yeah, The Gathering.
I always remember this 666 Isaac's Return is the worst one. And there's one with Charlize Theron. I think it's Children of the Corn 5. I've seen the first 6 and the remake, and I think most of them are really bad. Oh, I love this scene.
Wait.
There's 2 keys in this room. It's great.
It is great dialogue, man. It's great. The box. You opened it. We came. Also, I don't know if they did this in the other 2 movies, but the box transforms like a knife in this movie.
Yeah.
Did that happen in the first 2?
What's that?
Was there because the box in this movie it turns into a knife? Did that happen in the first 2 movies?
No, I don't think so. First 2 movies, it's like identical what happens with the box. It like comes up, turns, it goes down, and like it expands a little bit. But this movie, it becomes an actual knife. Like it's actually badass. Dude, that's like my favorite scene in this movie is him when he talks her back into the room. There's 2 keys. One's the key to that door, and the other is the key to dreams, to black miracles. And oh my god, man, Doug Bradley's performance is just so good. Feed him to him. Oh man, rest in peace, JP.
Yeah, he's a great actor, man. He really. That's why I don't think anybody else can play Pinhead. I mean, it's just a hard role to follow up, especially with just how good of an actor he is.
Yeah, I think Doug Bradley would have done these movies till he died. I don't understand why they. All that he did with the 9th film was he asked for the script and they said no. And they basically were like, no, we don't have a script. And he was like, you don't have a script? And they were like, well, no, we don't. And he was like, well, then go fuck yourself. And that's why they recasted him. And man, that was a big mistake. I'm sorry. Like, nobody can play Pinhead that's not Doug Bradley. Like, you shouldn't, like, I know they're going to try to reboot this. Apparently, David Gordon Green is the name attached. I just don't. I feel like you can't reboot this without Doug Bradley. I think Doug Bradley is really like the Robert Englund level of importance, with this series, especially in this film. I mean, this is his movie, man. He just steals it.
Yeah, this scene is so awesome. I'm at the part where he's breaking out of the statue.
Me too.
It's
Yeah.
so cool looking.
By the way, I'm rocking the socks tonight. The Hellraiser socks.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, they're from this movie too. The package. It says Hellraiser 3: Hell on Earth, and it like tells you the plot of this movie. So I was like, oh man, gotta break out the Hellraiser socks.
I went to Trick or Treat Studios. I went to Spirit Halloween, and they have so many cool things. Like they have like costumes and stuff, but they also have like posters for classic horror movies, T-shirts, cups, plates. All that good stuff. Socks. They had socks there.
I saw they had the Michael Myers socks. Somebody's got them.
Yeah. They had like Nightmare on Elm Street 3 socks, Nightmare on Elm Street 2 merch. I was like, Nightmare on Elm Street 2 merch? What?
Really?
But yeah, like the front, like how the poster is with Jesse in the mirror. They had that for like a classic poster. I was like, that's awesome, dude.
Wow. Somebody sent me it's like a lamp of Sam from Trick or Treat, and it's really cool. It's him sitting on a pumpkin with the lollipop, and if you plug it in, it's just this lamp, and it just like lights up, and it's
Dude,
so fucking cool.
That is really freaking awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Still haven't seen that movie, by the way.
Really? I didn't know that.
Never seen Trick or Treat.
Interesting. I would like to know your thoughts on that one for sure. That's one that I know a lot of people in the community go crazy about. I like the movie. I'm not as fucking diehard as most people, but I do like the movie. I definitely would. It's definitely worth a watch. And I know a lot of people consider it like one of the best. Like people consider Sam on the level of Michael Myers now. Like he's a Halloween icon now because of that movie. It's absolutely amazing how a movie that wasn't theatrically released got that organically over with the community. It's simply amazing. But yeah, man, I would love to hear your thoughts when you eventually do see that film.
Yeah, it got requested, so I'll be covering it pretty soon. So,
Ooh,
yeah,
that's gonna be. I'm very much looking forward to that one.
Thanks, man. What's your plan for the next week episode of Garner's Graveyard? Like, what do you want to do next week?
I was thinking initially I would do House by Steve Miner and then Burnt Offerings, like two
Yes.
haunted house movies. I figured that would be cool, but I'm down for anything. I'm really trying to keep it fresh as can be, and just stuff that I've been watching. I could do Argento. I could do like Deep Red. What I've watched, I could do. Usually, last year I did a Halloween horror pick show where I just talked about what I've watched and like good stuff to watch around this time of the year. So that's definitely something I want to do, maybe even again. So I don't know. I'm just going to keep keeping it fresh and have fun. I may do uh, a show on the 29th. I think that'll probably be, and then maybe I'll just do a brief video on the 31st, just, wishing everybody a happy Halloween. And I know you've been doing all those awesome request reviews. So those have been amazing.
Thanks, man. I appreciate all the support on that stuff. I always do.
Yeah.
Just been awesome, man. And your requests are really good, and hopefully I can get to the Crash Bandicoot one pretty soon.
Crash Bandicoot, dude, I would love to hear your thoughts on that game because that's like one of the most hated games ever, and like I really want to hear what you'd have to say.
I really don't get it. It's really unnecessary the amount of hate that movie gets, for me at least, because it was, I get it. It was more of a DLC kind of game. It really shouldn't have been its own game, but I always had fun playing it when I was a kid, man.
Yeah, me too.
But I used to play a lot of platform games like Jack and Dexter. I don't know if you ever played that one. Tack and the Power of Juju, Ratchet and Clank, Rygar.
Sly Cooper.
Yeah, Sly Cooper. Played that a lot. My favorites were always Crash, Tack and the Power of Juju, and Jack and Dexter. Those are always my top 3 favorites. But yeah, it'll be really fun covering that again because that's probably one of my favorite games of all time. It's really fun game.
Yeah, I'm interested to see your review on it for sure.
You used to play those old SmackDown versus Raw games too.
Oh, man, I love the SmackDown versus Raw games, especially like the 24/7 mode on one of them. It's amazing, man. I love that game. Aiden asks, "What's our thoughts on the Crazies remake?" What are your thoughts on that one, Nate?
Oh, I'm in the minority. I think the remake's a lot better than the original. I wasn't really into the original movie. It just wasn't really for me. I felt it focused on. It should have been more about the actual Crazies, but it was more about the government and what they're doing. But I thought the remake did a little bit more about the characters and the Crazies. So, but I still respect the original one. I think the house burning in the original one is scarier than the one in the remake because the original was just out of nowhere, and the way that and there are just certain scenes in the original movie that I thought were really cool and iconic. But the remake, I love. I think it's a great, fantastic flick.
That's awesome. Yeah, I don't mind that remake. I don't love it or anything, but it's definitely it's one of the better remakes, I would say. And I do like the original film. It actually stands up now better than it did even a year ago because of COVID. Watching that movie again, I was like, man, like I'm getting fucking, vibes of what it's like now. Like
28 days later. You
Yeah.
ever seen a movie called Carriers? Try watching
No.
Carriers now. It's a movie called Carriers. It has a lot of young faces in that one, but they're like famous actors now. I would check that movie out. I would definitely recommend it. It's very creepy watching Carriers now, or Outbreak. It's creepy watching that, or Contagion, that kind of stuff.
That's awesome. I'll have to check it out. What year did Carriers come out?
I think 09, 08, somewhere around there. Cabin Fever is a pretty scary one to watch nowadays. 28 days later. Just a lot of those virus type movies.
Yeah, man, for sure. I watched a few of them. I watched Contagion over the quarantine break and the Crazies. I really like the original The Crazies. It grew on me. I have the Blue Underground blue of it, and it's a really I kind of enjoy the film. I think it's a pretty decent Romero film, and I think the remake has its ups too. I think the only thing with the remake was I felt that certain people of the Crazies were different than others. Whereas in the original, they were all fucking crazy. Like I felt with that remake, there were some of them that like remembered shit. Like I remember the guy that killed in the opening. Like his family becomes the crazies, and like they remember, they're like, you killed my husband and shit. I'm like, how do you fucking know that, bitch? Aren't you supposed to be fucking crazy? Like,
Yeah.
they fucking, I don't know. I thought that was weird, but other than that, I like that remake for sure. I think it's pretty decent. Doug Bradley also does voice narrations of several Cradle of Filth albums, which is totally awesome, dude. I didn't know that. That's pretty interesting. Doug Bradley is also friends with Clive Barker, and he didn't want to be involved with Judgment. I don't fucking blame him, because I didn't. I actually have not seen Judgment. I've seen Revelations, and I thought that was a piece of shit. But so I don't know. Oh, thank you, man. Yeah, I do. I love
Yeah.
Argento.
That was a great episode, man.
Thank you. Yeah, that was a fun one. Like I actually, my buddy has been watching all the Argento films. He did like an Argento retrospective this month, and he asked me about Only Your Tears. He's like, "You like this movie?" Because most people I talk about hate it, and he was like, "What? Like, tell me what you like about it." And I did. And then he watched it and was like, "I don't fucking get what people are bitching about." And I was like, "Yes!" Like I converted somebody, you know.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out. I still got a lot of the essentials to check out too, like Inferno, Phenomena, Trauma, the big ones, Mother of Tears. But I love.
Phenomena is great. I think you'll really like Phenomena.
Yeah, yeah. I heard it was pretty good. So far, my favorite's probably Tenebrae, bro. That's such a badass movie.
Tenebrae is great, man. I watched that. In like early September. I really, really like Tenebrae, man. That's another really underrated one. That's like his return to form to the giallo. I think Tenebrae is a fantastic fucking film.
It's that shot of the girl when she gets like, I think her throat slit and she walks and the blood just spraying on the wall.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I love the poster too. Like, and then that's used in the film. Like, that's a point in the film where one of the victims. I thought that was a fucking fantastic scene. Yeah, that's fucking. The colors in that movie just pop. Oh man, we're about to have a fucking crazy body count scene in this club.
My favorite scene in the movie. I'd say either this or the church scene. Like, just the dialogue and that scene's crazy. Ooh, that's creepy.
Pinhead is here. Let's clean some house.
I love how it's subtle, though. It's like little things moving here and there.
Shall we begin? Oof.
Who's ready to party? Come on, Pinhead. Tell me. Come on, dude, you pussy. Your face says it all. Carnage. Pure.
Oh no! Oh
carnage.
my god! Oh, CDs.
Sharp as razors.
You imagine getting fucking CDs fucking drilled into your head?
The amount of force.
That's fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
This is like a Pinhead went to the prom.
Yeah. I'm surprised this movie is this gory. For the early 90s.
Dude, yeah, they don't fucking go back. Oh my god, dude, that's fucking crazy. And all the gore just like subtly falls under the door. Talk about raising hell.
Yeah, this is definitely where the name fits the movie. Hellraiser. Just look at all this gore, bro. This is crazy.
Bro.
Chains in the throat, the eyes, the neck, like back of the head. People getting their faces ripped off. Like, jeez.
Yeah, the one guy that like grabs the hook and
dude,
he's like, what the fuck?
Dude, I love this shot right here of the blood. You just hear the slashing.
Yes, dude.
That's so scary.
Yeah, like that's how you do off screen, right? Because like you showed all this carnage, and then you can suggest the rest. Like these people we're all fucked.
Yeah.
Like I
I
thought
just
that was
got chills
really
watching that. That's one of my favorite shots of Hellraiser right there. Just the subtle, like you know something's going on behind that door.
yeah, exactly. And like that's where it's done. That's a good like version of an off screen kill. Like that's
Yeah.
because you showed me enough. Like you showed me all these people getting fucked up, and you're just like, oh my god, they're all literally fucked. Like Joey Summerskill's got to get the box now.
Time to kick ass and take names.
Hair went up in a ponytail. She means business. Yeah, that's one of those scenes when you first see that scene, like, and to this day, I think it's fucking effective. Like, that's a really scary fucking scene where he just fucking wipes that whole club.
Yeah, man, this movie is definitely dark.
It
I
is. Like,
remember
people
when I
always
first,
laugh at it, and I'm like,
I
dude, what?
know,
That scene? There's nothing to laugh at. It's fucking terrifying.
like you're laughing at people like Pinhead doesn't care. He will rip your face off with chains and de-skin you in 5 seconds. Like that's creepy.
Yeah, and I like how it's not the methodical one by one. You know, like it's like Elm Street 2 where Freddy crashes the pool party. You know, that's like this version. You see that like in the nightclub. It's just so fucking effective to see him just wipe everybody the fuck out.
And it's iconic to me. It's like
It
the
is.
thing to this movie that makes it different than the first two.
Definitely. It really this tones up the volume way more than Hellraiser 2 does. Like Hellraiser 2 takes the ideas of the first one and expands, you know, like where the first one it's like origin. The second one's like, okay, now we're executing, and this one's like, let's fucking blow the roof off this motherfucker. And that's basically what this movie is.
Right. We're making a slasher movie this time.
I like that. I think that was
Slice
the
and
way to
dice.
go. See, I think that's why I really excuse them for what they did too, because I probably would have done the same fucking thing. Like a lot of people go, "Oh no, they should have stick with the first two," but like, you know, why not go for the fucking jugular? Why not try to make him an icon like Freddy, where kids were buying his pajamas and people were literally talking about him as if he was American Pie or Cherry Pie, if you will. Like, why not try to make Pinhead into the mainstream? I think it was a good try, and it's sad that it didn't catch on. But man, this movie, Pinhead's an icon in this movie. Like, this is the movie that gives to me like Pinhead his rep. Is this movie?
Shall we begin?
I am the way. Oh, and that priest is like, "You'll burn in hell for this," and he goes, "Ha! You humans have such limited imagination." The one guy has the pool balls in his mouth.
Oh,
Oh, fun fact: the guy with the pool stick in his stomach. That's Zach Galligan from Waxwork and Gremlins, the lead in both those films. He was best friends with Anthony Hickok, so he was like, "Yo, let me play a corpse, and like that'll be my cameo." He's the guy with the pool cue in his stomach.
really?
Yeah, it's Zach Galligan, the lead of Waxwork and Gremlins.
That's that's awesome, man.
Isn't it?
I think he loves the horror genre because he was in Hatchet 3 as well. So I think he's
Yeah.
got a soft spot for horror.
My parents actually met him at a nightclub years and years ago. And they said he was like the nicest guy ever. Like they said it was right around when Gremlins had just come out. And like they chilled with him for the night. Like they said he was the most chill, down to earth guy ever. Like I think that's so cool. My parents chilled with Zach Galligan.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah. Have we seen Demons 1 and Demons 2? I've seen Demons 1 and Demons 2. I have a lot of fun with those movies.
Um, I've seen the first Demons. I didn't see the second one, but the first one I love a lot. I think it's great. Although I was kind of wondering after Demons 1, how do you follow that ending up because of the way that it ends? I don't know.
Yeah. Demons 1 and Demons 2 are basically the same movie, but like I don't know, they were a lot of fun, man. I enjoy those movies. Both those movies are fun. Church Scene, this movie is one of my favorite of all time. Yeah, me too. It's so well done. Like, and I like how it starts with the humor too, where it's like demons aren't real; they're metaphors, parables. And Pinhead opens the door, and they play that no, no, and he goes, "Oh, man, what the fuck is that?" I love that fucking scene, man. We're
What if the
almost there.
preacher? That'd be funny if the preacher was like, "Holy shit, I'm out of here."
Oh my god, yeah, it would be funny if he broke priesthood.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Holy shit balls.
He goes full on wrestling. Holy shit. Holy shit.
And then it's like, whoever opened the box, you fucked up. You fucked up.
You open the box. You fucked up. You fucked up. Pinhead, the whole fucking show. The whole fucking show.
I am kind of curious though about this. Why does Pinhead let her live for so long? He plays with her a lot in this movie. I wonder if he just sees something in her that maybe is different from the others.
I don't know.
He could have killed her right here, but he didn't.
Considering he kills the entire fucking nightclub and within a matter of minutes, I don't know why he lets her live. I guess for the sake of her being the final girl.
So you have to be the lead, so you're allowed to live.
Well, he goes for the box here, and the box like electrocutes him. And now the chase is on.
Oh, that's right. He can't kill her, I think, because she has the box.
Yes.
That's what it is. Just come here and die before you have the option of doing it quickly.
This finale is so much fucking fun.
Yeah. It's so much
running
mayhem.
from Pinhead in the streets.
Blood of my blood, flesh of my flesh. Hell on earth. These special effects are also really good.
Dude, and they're all practical. It's fantastic.
Gotta miss it, man.
I miss it too. Watching it on this VHS is just bringing back like childhood memories right now. It's just amazing. It almost feels like a Final Destination movie. Like she's running from electrocuted water and the streets on fire. Look who's on TV.
Time for your close-up. Just punches the camera to the guy's head. That was always the scariest scene to me. He just pushed the camera to the guy's forehead.
I'll admit that Cenobite is the cheesiest one of like all of them. Like people make fun of the floppy disk guy, but the fucking guy with the camera is the cheesiest.
Yeah.
Everything's cool, baby. Oh. Oh. This guy's throwing all the Blu-rays of Hereditary at people. Hereditary will be the death of me.
Creepshow 3.
Oh my god, yeah. Throw fucking Creepshow 3 DVD at me.
That man just punched a hole through a guy's forehead with a camera. That's just great.
Dude.
I always thought the CD one was one of my favorites.
Me too. I like the one that breathes fire too.
Oh,
I thought it was creative, like because if all the other ones were killed off, like they had to make new ones.
yeah. This movie had to have an insane budget because there's so much going on right now.
Which is funny is like it did it like $5 million. It really didn't have that big of a
What?
budget. Yeah, they must have spent like most of their budget on this. Oh, floppy disk.
There are special sales on laser discs.
I love it. The guy's making a cocktail, fire Mazel Tov cocktail. Oh,
Come on, CDs in the bike. Come on, do it
come
now.
on! I'm here.
Throw me your Elton John album. Do it now. You can take it. Throw me the Creed album. Do it.
Come on, Pinhead. Come on. I have the box.
Oh, here come the cops to save the day.
Yeah, no, they ain't saving shit.
Stand back. I will fire my gun.
Stand back. There's a hurricane coming through.
Oh, right in the nose. Get down, lady.
She's like, it's gasoline. Woof.
It's gasoline. It's boiling acid.
Batman Forever.
Yeah. Hey.
Another day of wine and roses, or in your case, beer and pizza.
Hey, that's my hearing aid. This right here is such a good scene. The church.
So badass. Apparently, I was reading this too. They wanted to shoot this in a real church, and Anthony Hickox went through hell to literally, no pun intended, to get this scene filmed in an actual church because all these people that had a problem with it, they were like, oh, you're disrespecting this and that and the other. And his defense was, bro, what about all those Hammer horror films with, Peter Cushing and all this stuff? He was like, why was it okay then? And they were like, well, I guess you're right. And they they kind of gave way. But he went through hell to try to film this scene in an actual church, because they felt it was disrespectful. But I don't know. I think this is the coolest thing about this movie. And when he's mocking the cross and
yeah,
so good.
Then what the fuck is that?
Oh, I love it. I love it. That's the best. Demons aren't real.
They don't exist. What the fuck is that?
They're metaphors. What the fuck is that, though? Oh, my God, dude. I am the way. Oh my God. Oh.
Wow.
Dude, that's iconic.
You know, also knows about this movie. He doesn't really have pins in his head. He has nails. Never really.
Yeah, yeah, they don't look pin like in this. They look like thicker.
Happy are they who come to my supper.
This is my body.
And then any of this leads to Hellraiser 4. I always forget this connects to Hellraiser 4.
Oh God, Hellraiser 4.
Yeah. And the ending's so cool because it's like the box has been built into the building. Like, how can that be done? And then the next movie doesn't get done at all.
Yeah, it's just like, oh well, she found the box in the wall, and I'm like, what? And like, I feel like in a lot of ways it should have just ended here. If you weren't going to make this a big franchise and the movie didn't make enough money to do that, then you should have just ended it here. There's no reason to continue if it didn't make that much money.
Yeah.
Like, because I'll be honest, I consider it the trilogy. I consider it 1, 2, and 3. Like, I never watched. I watched the other one just out of curiosity, but not out of like enjoyment.
Right. Or you know what'd been really cool though?
What?
Is if they did a Hellraiser 4, if you know how 13 Ghosts is done with the whole like walls that move and it's all part of this thing that was designed. Well, that'd be really cool if they did that with 4 because it's the building that has the configuration box in it. So maybe this building is kind of like a configuration box. So like it always switches around in different rooms or like different parts of hell and stuff. Maybe like you can get trapped inside and Hellraiser Pinhead's in there and you're trying to get out and gotta go from floor to floor. Different because like Dante's Inferno has like what? There's like 7 layers to that hell. So like every floor is worse and worse to try and get through.
And the final floor would be Pinhead. Dude, that's fucking brilliant, man.
Yeah.
Like, see, I wish they would let you write Hellraiser 4.
And I'd be like, all right, John Grande starred in this movie.
Oh my God, of course. I had this whole idea, and I did an episode of like rebooking horror movies where with the 4th film, I would have had Kim Myers, who's in the 4th film. She would have found the box, and because of what happened in this movie, she's able to access the pleasure side of the box. And she goes to not hell, but like this heaven-like area where everyone's having these awesome like sexual orgies and fantasies and shit. And like she's just having a great time. And then Pinhead finds out about it, and basically hell comes to heaven, or whatever this area is where you experience the utmost pleasure as opposed to the utmost pain. And I felt like that would have been a really cool direction to take it, like having heaven and hell kind of cross paths, and in between our final girl Kim Myers. Like I think that would have been a really cool direction to take this series. But
Yeah.
I don't know what they decided to do. Let's do 3 different timelines explaining the origin of the box because everyone needs to know that, which was retarded. Then the modern day thing, which is the briefest part of the movie, I feel like, and then the thing in outer space, which I don't even understand. Like it's just, the movie is such a missed opportunity, man.
Yeah, it could have been really good, man. Just get me, you, and Steve, and Gideon, get all of us together, man. We could book it and make it great.
Gideon is a horror genius when it comes to ideas and creative. Just talking psychology with him is really fun. Like you too. Like I think you always have a great idea with stories. Like how to a good setup. Like we do it this way, And then I think that's like your strong suit for sure. It's not easy to do, man. It's crazy how like we're 2 guys and we've never been paid to write anything. And like I feel like we come up with more interesting ideas because of our fandom. Like our fandom is more hardcore, whereas those guys, it's just a job for them. It's just like, all right,
Paycheck.
how can I get this done?
Yeah, unfortunately. And even if we were able to make a movie, if it was for a major studio, they'd be like, "We need to change this. We need some more teen faces. PG-13. We need jump scares." Like, come on,
Come on, do it. I'm here.
you're my fucking vision. You're a quiet boy. So did your producer chair?
Now the producers are going off. Well, we need to have jump scares, and I pull out my fucking freeze gun. I'm like, chill.
Oh,
Cool
that's my execute.
party.
As soon as they start talking to you about changing your movie, you're like, "Oh, that's my execute." Got to go back to filming now.
I'll be like, chill out.
Stick around and watch my movie.
I'll be like, oh, we're gonna have George Clooney in your Hellraiser film. I'll be like, all right, I fucking quit.
Oh no.
Ronnie, who do you want the
He
final
played
bill to be?
Pinhead.
Oh man, so many great actors. How about Annalyn McCord? Oh no, well we were thinking Rooney Mara. I'd be like, all right, it was good. Thank you for the interview. I'm gonna leave now. I feel like these scenes are so surreal in this film. Like they almost don't
Yeah,
fit, but I like them. There's something about it. Like it makes it feel different.
very dreamy.
Yeah.
We have such sights to show you.
That's probably the best line in the whole series.
Yeah.
Such sights to show you.
You know how I always thought was weird? They have that creature in the first movie that pops up and chases Kirsten, and it goes away and never comes back again. But I always thought it was so creepy looking.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's the thing. Like that makes that film feel much more Clive Barker than the rest of them. Like that movie has that monster in it, and even that thing, like that random hobo guy at the end that becomes like a pterodactyl, and, like flies away. And I was always like, what the fuck? Like I still to this day don't understand that in the first
Yeah,
film. Like I don't get that, but like I guess that's just Clive Barker, you know?
right.
I always thought this was a badass finale. Like the good half versus the dark half.
Yeah.
Elliot Spencer. It's funny how different he looks out of the makeup. A completely
Yeah.
different looking guy.
I wonder how long it took to get that makeup on.
Oh man, I would think hours upon hours. And it's got to be hard to make it like that. It wouldn't move. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's got to be glued on there really good.
Make it look like skin. Like it
Yeah.
has to look realistic. What the hell? What is this? What is this creature we are seeing?
I don't know. Is it the Sarlacc pit?
Special edition.
The Sarlacc pit came from the box.
It's come to tell you about the infinite times in hell you will watch The Last Jedi.
Oh my god.
No.
What people my reaction on what that movie? That was funny.
So did you ever see The Rise of Skywalker?
I know. I did not bother to see The Rise of Skywalker.
I was like,
Good. Rest in peace, Star Wars.
I'm not wasting 2.5 hours of my life.
Me neither. I'm good.
You know they were talking about. Look at that special effect! Oh my god,
dude. Yeah, that when they merge together, that looks fantastic.
No, but did you hear that? I guess that universe is now it's gonna be non-canon soon. They're gonna remake the trilogy. I'm like, what? They're gonna redo it over.
I'm so good. I'm Star Wars'd out, man. Rest in peace. That series had a good run, man. I'm good now. Like, I'm so done with that series. Go to hell. I love this. You really got to know how to finger your box. she turned into a fucking knife, dude.
Like, she's like, people gotta ask, like, okay, how'd you do that again?
She'd be like, "Oh, it's a one-time thing. I don't know." She was good. I like Joey Summerskill.
Yeah.
Good.
She's definitely the second best lead. Like, out of all the other leads in the series, like, you had part 4's lead, 5's lead was all right. Yeah, like 6 lead, 7 lead. She was all right too.
6's lead is the guy from the Allstate commercials.
Yeah, that is him. Oh my god, I just realized that.
Isn't that crazy?
That is nuts.
Maybe that's why he went into insurance commercials.
Oh my god. Saved from bad luck like me in my Hellraiser sequel.
Pinhead banished him to fucking commercial obscurity.
Oh my god. This is where she buries it in the cement, and then it becomes part of the building.
The building is now the Jesus Christ, the Lament configuration. Unbelievable. See that? I wonder how much money that cost to make the fucking thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I fucking love that movie, man.
It was a lot of fun revisiting this movie with you again, man. Thank you.
Dude, for real, I had a blast. I know they play that awesome Lemmy song at the end. Hellraiser in the glistening heat. Hellraiser, knock you back on your feet. Dude, it's so badass.
You know, there was also a I don't know if you knew this or not. There's also a Leatherface theme song that's in rock. Like, it's not by them, but it's by another band. At the Unchained Massacre Part 3, there's a song called Leatherface. Like, it's so cool.
Yeah, I forget who did it, too, and I've listened to the song. Is it... Oh, God, I can't remember. But I've heard the song before. It's badass.
See, like, that ending, though, like, it could have been a building that represents the cube, and, like, now a certain room can be activated, and you gotta go from room to room, and, like, damn it, how is your bloodline?
Yeah, it could have been... It could even have been like a whole organization. Like if you work there and you go into an office and then bam, you're turned into a Cenobite, but like you're still a human. You know what I mean? So like you could have people be like interviewing for the job and be like attacked by a Cenobite. That would have been cool. Like there's so much you could have done with it, I feel like. Well, I guess we'll never know, unfortunately.
They had to go and steal other scripts and just say, "Oh, put Pinhead in right there. Put him right there.
Oh, we'll put Pinhead in fucking space."
So Hellraiser, Hellworld.
Hellraiser, Hell in Space. That was the next one. That was it. That was the end of the.
That was pretty bad. I won't lie.
Yeah, fucking such a shame. Because honestly, if you were gonna end it here, I say awesome ending. But unfortunately, that's not what they ended up doing. But man, you know, I gotta say, hats off to Anthony Hickox. I think he did a great job directing this film. I think Doug Bradley probably gives his best performance as Pinhead the entire series in this movie, just because he really is forced to be the main antagonist, and he gets the most screen time as Pinhead in this one. I really like the final girl. I think Joey Summerskill, she's great. I forget her real name. Terry. What's her damn name? Her real name. Terry Farrell does a really good job. Good special effects, good direction, good writing. I don't know, man. I give 2 thumbs up for Hellraiser 3, man. It's a prime Rocktober watch with the Horrorboy.
Oh, for sure, bro. Thank you so much for having me on. Yeah, this is my favorite still to this day. It was watching it again really reminded me why I love it so much, and it was awesome being on the graveyard, being on Hell on Earth. Oh, hell yeah!
Shall we begin?
It's damn true.
RVD, RVD. They put Jason in space. Yeah, they did, unfortunately. But at least they waited till part 10, not part 4. That's the final chapter in space. That would be bullshit.
They put Freddy Krueger in space.
Yeah, for real, man. For real, for
The
real.
the spaceship was called Elm.
Thank you so much, Neon Black Reviews. I appreciate it. Yeah, this was a lot of fun, man. Always
Yeah,
talking
thank you,
shit
man.
with me. All right, though, that's going to be all for the graveyard here tonight. This was a wonderful, wonderful time watching horror with you, man. Always a pleasure to have you on. Hope to have you on again soon, man. I'd love to always
I'd
talk
love to
horror
be
with
back on.
you. Yeah. And I've been looking forward to your request reviews. So they've been fantastic. And everybody go subscribe to the Horrorboy's channel. He's kicking ass and taking names as always. And he's taking requests for a limited time more. So if you want to hear something reviewed by him, Nate will do it for you. So I just want to thank everybody that stopped by, watched this with us, man. This was a lot of fun, man. Long live Doug Bradley, Anthony Hickox, Clive Barker, Terry Farrell, everybody that's involved in this movie, because this movie's awesome. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Keep it real, keep it creepy, and we will see you next time only on the Graveyard. Thank you, Mr. Vabra. I appreciate it. I'll check you next time.
Peace out, guys.